I have a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. First things first, I cut all my hair off. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know this, but I hadn't shared here on YouTube yet. So I figured I would go ahead and include it in this video because I feel like it's a whole like new hair, new car, new year, new me. And I am loving the new hair, but I will say I do have my moments where I kind of miss my longer hair. I'm struggling with fixing it for the gym, which is part of the reason why I am probably gonna grow it out a few more inches. Maybe I just went a little too short. Not that I necessarily regret it because it feels so light and fresh. And so for that reason, especially going into the hotter months, I know I'm really gonna enjoy this. It just feels a little fresher. And I feel like everybody's kind of cutting their hair right now. So I don't necessarily regret it, but it is definitely taking some getting used to. It's so much easier to style though, so much easier to wash and dry. So for that reason alone, I definitely love it because I think for me, I just wanted something easier, right? My long hair was just getting to be so high maintenance. And as much as I loved it for a lot of reasons, I just wanted something a little lighter and fresher. So that's what I did. I'll probably change it up maybe after the summer or maybe even just let it grow out through the summer. By fall, it'll be a little bit longer where I can actually put it in a ponytail. I can put it in a ponytail. It's just a really stubby, short ponytail. And I prefer a long, flowy ponytail. So just wanted to share my new hair with you, but I had so many of you ask for me to share a video in regards to my car and answering a few new questions. So I did get a brand new 2025 Range Rover Sport Hybrid. I am obsessed. So I thought I was in love with my previous Range Rover, which you guys know, that was definitely my dream car. Like Range Rover Sport, just in general, it is my dream car. So I didn't really think it could get any better than my previous one. And I was wrong. I was really kind of sad to let that one go, to be honest. I drove it 4 years, which is the longest that I've ever had a car ever. I have never had a car that long. I usually get a new car every 2 years, sometimes even less, but I just didn't want to let go of that one. It was so comfortable, so easy, and just felt really good in every aspect of a car feeling good. So I was really hesitant to get a new car, but as you guys know, I'd been kind of knowing it was coming at some point. So I did look around per usual, even though the decision was made pretty quickly when I did purchase this one. So I had a few of you guys ask what else I looked at. So of course I looked at the Escalade. The new Escalade is beautiful. It really is beautiful, but it's not the vibe I wanted. I feel like an Escalade is a luxury mom car, and I didn't want a luxury mom car. I wanted a luxury car. I don't know, it's just different to me. Of course I looked at BMW, I looked at Mercedes. I've never been a huge BMW fan, and Mercedes, I've driven a few of them, been there, done that. I'm not saying I would never go back to Mercedes, but it's just not where I want to be right now. I think they're beautiful cars, just not where I want to be right now. I did consider going smaller. So in the Land Rover category, obviously there is the HSE, which is the larger SUV than the Sport. And every single time I think, okay, I'm gonna look at that one, and then every single time I do, I just prefer the Sport. I don't know how to fully explain it. I just feel more comfortable in this size. So that's why the HSE was out. But to be honest, I actually was considering going smaller this route. I park in the garage. For me, a factor in a vehicle is easy parking. Like, I know that's silly, but easy parking, whether it's getting it out of my garage or parallel parking or just finding a good, safe, like door ding less, whatever you want to call it, space whenever I'm out and about shopping and living my everyday life. So I was like, maybe I'll consider going smaller. So I actually had the sales associate pull a Velar around so that I could test drive it. I'd seen the outside of Velars, which obviously are really beautiful, but I'd never really sat inside a Velar. And the second I sat inside of it, before I even drove it around, I did not like it. I even asked him, like, is this a lower model Velar? And he said it was not. He said it was actually one of their higher models. And I knew instantly it just wasn't giving the luxury feel. So that was 100% out. And that's when I went back to the Sport. I found two that I liked. I found a black on black one that I liked. But again, the second I got inside, I just knew it wasn't me. I think I drove it around the block, and I knew before I even took it off the lot, to be honest, that it wasn't me. And I decided to go ahead and test drive this one. This one originally wasn't an option because it was definitely more than I wanted wanted to spend because of the package that it is, but also the hybridness of it made it in a different category. But I decided to go ahead and test drive it against my better judgment. And of course I fell in love. So I decided to get this one. I've got the caraway interior, which is freaking stunning. The larger rims, black rims. So it does look different than my other one, my previous one, even though I went from a white Range Rover Sport to a white Range Rover Sport. This one definitely has a lot of different features and it's a much more elevated package than my previous one. They had 3 main fabric colors to choose from in regards to the leather. First was gonna be the black, which I did look at. It was nice, but it just was like, I don't know. It was nice. And then the next one was this, like, I don't remember what they call it, but it's basically like a white gray color. I did not like that one at all. It was so bright. And then of course there was the caraway material, which is a mix of caraway and black. And the fact that I even got to see one of these in person was surprising because the caraway is very, very difficult to get. And they had just gotten this one in. They had just gotten this one in. It wasn't even listed on their website yet when I was able to look at it and decide that it was gonna be mine. So let's go and dive into the hybrid aspect. Some people are confused what hybrid means. It means that my car is a 100% a gas vehicle in addition to having a smaller electric vehicle battery. Now, most electric vehicles that are 100% electric vehicle, you can go for hundreds of miles. It might be 200, it might be 300, depending on the size that you purchase, miles for that, for an entire like full battery, whereas mine is around 50 and that's it. So it's a much smaller EV battery, electric vehicle battery, which is perfect for somebody that, like me, that drives a lot of city miles. The majority of my life takes hold within a certain mile radius of my home. So grocery shopping, picking up the boys if I have to pick them up for appointments at school, running errands, right? Doing anything like that. The only time that I drive any further is if I'm going out of town or if I am going somewhere else in the Houston area that's a little bit further. And to be honest, I only maybe do that once or twice a month. Like I said, the majority of my life is within the area that I live. I have had my vehicle now for 3 weeks and I have not had to get gas once. I actually have 3/4 of a tank of gas. I have just been running off of the EV battery majority of the time. Now, what's great about my particular vehicle is you can do it a couple of different ways. You can save the EV battery for later if you want to. So you can put it on a save mode. You can run it as a hybrid vehicle, which means it's going to use both your electric as well as your gas. And then you could make it just an EV vehicle. Now, I've been primarily running it as a hybrid / EV, but what I'm finding is your vehicle starts to, or my particular vehicle, it starts to, I guess, choose for you what is the best option for the way that you're driving. So whether it's the speed, miles, things like that. So majority of the time I am using the EV battery, but it does pull from my gas every once in a while when that is the smarter option. And then I charge it every day. When it's home, it is on the charger and it is using just a standard 3-prong charger. I did want to talk about the options when it came to charging, and that is with my particular vehicle, since it is not a full EV vehicle, I do think the traditional 3-prong plug-in charger is completely fine. I have had 0 issues with it. It is a very, very slow charge. So keep that in mind. So if it is a full EV vehicle, I do not recommend it. I do not recommend it. It charges at about 1 mile per hour. So keep that in mind. So if my tank of EV was 100% empty, it would take about 50 hours to fully charge it with a standard 3-prong plug. Now, could I upgrade to the dryer plug? Like most standard dryers come with a, I think it's a 240 volt, I believe. I could be wrong on the number, but you know what I'm saying, right? You could upgrade to the plug-in that most household dryers use, which would increase the speed of battery charging. But for me, if I had a full EV vehicle, 100% hands down, that would be mandatory, but I don't really need to. I really, really don't need to. One, I work from home. Because I work from home, not only is my battery charging most days throughout the day, but it's also charging overnight. So I haven't gone down to 0 more than twice the entire time that I've had the vehicle. I know once I went down to 0, but we'll just say twice in case I forgot one. If you're gonna get a full EV vehicle, I 100% recommend that you would need to upgrade your charger. I also haven't tried charging my vehicle at any of the charging stations. I do wanna try that eventually. I just haven't yet, but I know eventually I want to do that as well. I really love it. It's beautiful. It's white. It's got the black rims, the larger tires, the caraway interior, a lot of black, which I love. The technology is really beautiful. The screens offer a lot of like 3D technology. The rear view mirror is a camera or a mirror. There's just a lot of features in this one that are just elevated from what I had before. So I'm just so happy with it. If you guys have any other particular questions in regards to the car or my haircut, let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know a lot of you asked for it and just enjoy looking at pretty things. So thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Never up, never down, never